Hi everybody, I'm here to introduce you to the new Endowus Satellite Portfolios. I'm really excited about this. My name is Sam, I'm the Chief Investment Officer at Endowus. Endowus is a fee-only digital wealth platform and the first digital advisor for all of your money, for your cash, for your CPF and SRS. So Endowus became the first digital platform that allows you to manage your private wealth and your public pension in a seamless, easy-to-use mobile app. Endowus has been growing very rapidly. We're backed now by strategic global venture companies like SoftBank and Lightspeed, but also the biggest private bank in the world, UBS, one of the largest technology companies in the world, Samsung, and the largest digital innovator here in Singapore called Singtel. So we're really excited that Endowus is continuing to grow and offer meaningful solutions that will help people invest better so they can live easier today and better tomorrow. Now, I'd like to introduce you to the Endowus Investment Office team. We have an amazing array of talent that we've been able to bring together. And this team is working really hard for you, the clients, so that we can offer you with best-in-class solutions and curated and advised and personalized just for you. Wei Mei, who's our Chief Advisory Officer, and the whole team have a wealth of experience. The 8 members combined have more than 60 years of experience, and they have experience from leading global financial institutions. And that experience is very broad. So it's from asset management, but also private banking, also investment banking, and also fund advisory services like Cambridge and Mercer, which is very relevant for especially our fund due diligence process. So the whole team works very seamlessly together to be building this Endowus Satellite Portfolios for you today. Now, the Endowus Satellite Portfolios has 3 key characteristics. First of all, it is an active approach. So Endowus utilizes the best-in-class portfolios which are actively managed and constructed for each satellite portfolio. So we scour the world for the best-in-class funds. We select them, so oftentimes exclusively to Endowus, or previously not available funds are being brought into Singapore in Sing dollars, often SGD hedged as well for fixed income, and being offered at institutional rates and lowest cost. Second thing that we do is we optimize the portfolio when we build it to maximize the risk-adjusted returns. So as you know, risk and returns always go hand in hand. But as we diversify the portfolio and optimize it, we can improve the portfolios by giving a stronger risk-adjusted return. Now, the third part is enhanced diversification, especially when you're investing in certain sectors or certain countries as satellite portfolios, and they're not truly globally diversified as the core portfolios, then it's even more important for us to find opportunities for diversification, whether it's a geographical diversification in the case of sector portfolios, or if it's in the case of country portfolios, we can provide sector diversification. Also, we can diversify in investment styles, whether it's growth or value. Also, we maximize the opportunity to use multi-manager selections so that we can minimize the concentration risk of the portfolios. Now, the 6 initial launch of the satellite portfolios are going to be technology, global real estate, mega trends, China equities and fixed income, and low volatility fixed income. These are portfolios that have been asked by our clients for quite a while now. So we're really excited that the team has worked hard to launch these initial 6 satellite portfolios. But we have more coming. So we have income portfolios, we have smart beta, passive portfolios, and other satellite portfolios. So please reach out to us for satellite portfolios that you would like us to build for you. The technology portfolio is a global sector thematic equities portfolio designed to target high long-term returns from technological progress, curated and optimized exposure to diverse technology companies, both public and some private as well, and also non-tech companies that are leveraging technology to enhance the competitive advantages. Global real estate portfolio is a global sector portfolio, that is equities, designed to give a high dividend income of about 4 to 6%. And it's a great hedge against inflation. It captures the structural growth opportunities in global listed REITs, real estate, and also, importantly, infrastructure companies. So it is a truly diversified and global real estate exposure, as opposed to a lot of the narrow single country or Singapore REITs that many people invest in. The third one is Megatrends. It's a global thematics equity portfolio. So if you're into thematics, we have chosen the best emerging global themes with strong structural growth ahead of it, such as health, artificial intelligence, environmental sustainability. And it holds a mix of multi and single thematic funds so that you have broad exposure to the most important megatrends in the world. China equities and fixed income portfolios. We've given you an opportunity to tap into the macro long-term growth opportunities that exist in China. So the equities portfolio is designed with strong risk-adjusted returns, riding the Chinese equity market's long-term growth across various sectors. More importantly, it's curated with diversification benefits by giving you exposure to both China onshore listed and offshore listed entities. And fixed income similarly is capturing the really deepening and broadening of the China fixed income market. Not only that, by giving you exposure to Chinese corporate credit and also government credit, we're giving you a good balance of fixed income exposure in China. And in a market where it's very difficult to find yield, China fixed income still gives us good yield pickup. So combining the China equities and fixed income allows you to create balanced portfolios for your overall China exposure, but you can use them independently as a 100% fixed income or 100% equities portfolio. The final portfolio that I'm introducing today is a low volatility fixed income portfolio. This replaces the existing old ultra defensive portfolio, which was created in the height of the March COVID crisis, when many people asked us, is there something that is less volatile than the 100% fixed income portfolio, but gives us better yield and returns than the cash smart solutions? So low volatility fixed income is the solution for you if you're looking for something in between those two options. It provides downside protection and lower volatility while still enjoying returns comparable to the broader global fixed income market. Now, the core satellite investment approach is being talked about quite a lot. It's a wonderful concept that you can use to manage your personal finances and your investment portfolio. The core portfolio within Endowus is the flagship core and the ESG core portfolios, two wonderful advised portfolios created by the Endowus Investment Office to give you maximum exposure as a global, diversified, low-cost solution for equities and fixed income. So the core portfolio always has a multi-asset feature. It has multi-manager, but broadly passive and really low cost because you're trying to gain beta in returns. Now, the satellite portfolios have a completely different characteristic. It's satellites for a reason, and it makes up a smaller allocation in your overall portfolio, but it exposes yourself to the values or certain sectors or countries that you believe very strongly in, or thematics like the megatrends and technology portfolios. And in understanding the core satellite investing, this table will help you to conceptualize quite easily because I think two things really separate it. One is investment strategy. So core is broadly passive, whereas satellite ends up being an active allocation fund. Now, unlike core portfolios that are active, that normally underperform benchmark indices, satellite active portfolios actually have a good opportunity, if it's managed well, to provide decent or good risk-adjusted returns over the long term, beyond the benchmarks for those countries and sectors. Diversification is another important thing. Core portfolios has a very, very high degree of diversification because we try to own the overall market, whether it's global markets or regional markets. Satellite portfolios are much more concentrated in nature, providing you exposure to very specific geographies, sectors, or themes so that you can gain specific exposure. So core satellite, a combination of both, is the best of both worlds, providing you with a passive, broad diversification benefits of core and your specific exposures that you desire in the satellite portfolios. The Endowus Investment Office has worked really hard to provide you with these 6 wonderful satellite portfolios. And now I'm going to hand over to Wei Mei to explain more about creating your own core satellite portfolio and how you can personalize it.
Thank you, Sam. Now I'm going to share with all of you how you can create your own core satellite portfolio. So it starts off by looking at what is your investment goal as well as objective. You must understand what would be your preferred investment horizon, risk tolerance, and also decide what would be the source of funds that you'll be using for investment. Thereafter, you should decide how you want to establish your core allocation, and we would recommend that this would be at least between 70 to 80% of your total investable wealth. And with that in mind, you can think about the core allocation as the backbone as well as the foundation of your investment strategy. And this is meant for the long term because you want to be exposed to the broad markets, and ideally this should be diversified as well as a low-cost way to make sure that you participate in the upside of the markets. Within core portfolios, you do have two options. You can choose either flagship or having ESG as the tier that you want to have when building this core exposure. Many of our investors who have been with us for some time already will be familiar with our flagship, which previously was known as core portfolios, but now we've decided to subsume both flagship as well as ESG under the broader core umbrella, so that it's much easier for you to think about how much you want to allocate to it, and subsequently as a next step, think about adding satellites to your overall portfolio mix. With satellites, the way to think about it would be to decide that you should have a smaller allocation, typically between 20 to 30%, and this is where you can express your high conviction in specific regions, sectors, or even investment teams. This would help you to capitalize on opportunities as they arise, and this will also be areas in which you can have specific overweights in certain areas, and the core as well as the satellite will complement each other, and together they will form your strategic asset allocation. So now let's take a look graphically how this is going to work. We have put together a portfolio selection framework for you, and you'll be able to see this based on a spectrum for investment horizon, which is at the bottom, and also in terms of risk tolerance, which is on the sidebar. What you will have here would be the different options that you can select from. And I would want to give you an analogy. You can think of this as a building block, as though you are picking out different Lego blocks to build a figurine. So you can have components that can come from Cash Smart, which is your cash allocation. You can also build your longer term investment strategy using the core components, which will be either flagship or ESG. And in both flagship and ESG, you have got 6 different risk profiles that you can choose from 100% equities, right down to a more balanced 60% equities, 40% fixed income, or on the other spectrum, something more conservative would be 100% fixed income. So you could decide to determine which should be the right risk profile for yourself and based on your own risk tolerance. And with the satellites, I've also outlined it here that for investors who are more aggressive, you could choose the 100% equity satellite portfolios. So there are 4 of them: global real estate megatrends, China equity and technology. And on the other hand, if you are more conservative and you have got preference in certain areas, the satellite that is 100% allocated to fixed income would be the low volatility fixed income portfolio as well as China fixed income. So by trying to mix and match the different solutions, you can reach an ideal outcome that would be tailored and customized for your own needs and preferences. I'm now going to share with you how easy it is to create your own satellite portfolio by going into the Endowus app. So when you go into the app, you will be able to find all 6 portfolios and create your goal. So first of all, if you look at our screen here, you will be in the app. The first thing that you look for is to click the button Add Goal. From there, you have options on whether you want to pick an advised portfolio, and you should. And once you pick an advised portfolio, you will see that there are 3 different options. You have got Core, Satellite, and also Cash Smart. So if you look under Core, there are actually 2 options. You can choose either Flagship or ESG. Okay? And if you were to choose Satellite, you can then scroll down and read through and find out which would be the portfolio that you prefer. So there are 6 of them. I'm going to choose the first one that you see, which is Technology. Once you choose Technology, the next step that you will go about doing is to choose your funding source. And you need to decide the amount that you want to invest. Next up would be to consider what is your risk tolerance, and finally, naming your goal. With that, you can now see details of the portfolio, including the underlying total expense ratio, the different funds that have been chosen to curate the satellite portfolio, and finally, you can decide whether you want to invest now or later. You would then be able to receive this specially curated satellite portfolio that we have done just for you, and you don't have to go through a challenging process of deciding which funds would be most suitable for you and doing all the comparison as well as optimization. So I think this is really straightforward, very easy. Do give it a try on our app and find out what our satellite portfolios can do for you. So next up, we'll now go into the deep dives of the different satellite portfolios that Endowus is introducing to our investors.